Hey everyone, Ben here, revealing the most controversial race that I had in iRacing in 2023, where in order to answer what happened next, we have to start at the beginning, and as ever at Monza, turn 1 is chaotic. We're in the mid-pack and approaching the chicane. I see there's been a big collision. I've got to take to the runoff area and try to rejoin as safely as I can. I managed to do it, and although I'm running damage free, I get a big slowdown penalty, so I have to let a big chunk of the field past. Now that includes cars with damage from that collision in T1, so I already know in the cockpit that this first lap is likely to contain more thrills and spills as drivers try to get their cars back to the pits. As we navigate the second chicane and the Lesmos, I can tell you I was feeling a bit grumpy to have lost positions and also relieved to have survived. It's a long race in the Formula 3 and there are overtaking opportunities at this track, so I was far from crestfallen, and I definitely wasn't seeing red mist, at least not yet. I can see lots of cars jockeying for position up ahead, so I'm preparing for the worst to come through Ascari, and those fears would be realised as cars come together on the exit of the corner, and that slows up a bunch of others too, and I'm able to squeeze myself all the way through the middle of that mess and actually regain the vast majority of the positions that I'd lost so far. All of which meant that as we ended lap 1, I was up in P12 in the race and feeling good about my chances of progressing up into the top 10. We rejoin the action on lap 3 and I've closed in on the driver up ahead, who I suspect is carrying damage. Now I'm not going to reference real names here because that's not what this video is about, but as you can see as we get through T1, the reality is, as well as closing in on his rear wing, I'm also coming under big pressure from behind. I failed to make the pass into T1, but now it's preying on my mind that I have to get this move done, otherwise I'm going to lose a position, never mind gain one. And so we're on to lap 4, and this time heading into T1, I decide I'm not going to go side by side. I've got enough space behind to make a calculated gamble that if I stick close enough behind the guy ahead, I'll be able to pass him on the run down to the second chicane. And that's exactly how it plays out. You can see the massive top speed differential as already in 5th gear I'm alongside and then past, and having received a spotter message that I was clear to the right, and then bang! I've been hit and I'm shunted off into the runoff area. In the cockpit I get no spotter warning. Bang! I hit the driver that had just collided with me again. So what on earth just happened there? I think we can separate the incident into 2 parts. On the first, at the time I thought I was completely within my rights to rejoin the racing line before the braking zone, to give myself the best run through the second chicane that I could. And I largely do still think that, but I also now appreciate that it was a highly risky, some might even say dumb thing to do. I put myself into a position where I was relying on the driver behind, fully conceding the position and anticipating that I was going to move back onto the racing line. If either of those things didn't happen, there was a high chance of a collision which would ultimately wreck my race and his too, and it did. I do think the other driver has time to react, but my guess is he was hoping to brake later than me and go around the outside. I think that was a bit daft given he was clearly down on pace and it was a very optimistic place to re-pass. But that being as it is, he was clearly caught out, he locked the brakes, and the rest is history. On the second part, all I can say is I had no clue where the other driver was and got no information in the cockpit that he was even there. I rejoined at what I think was a safer angle than he did, but unfortunately he was giving space to another car. Neither of us could physically see each other and we came together again. I'm rejoining a live track, so I suppose it's probably on me, but I think it was extremely unfortunate. Safe to say tempers were high post-race, and in large part that's why at the time I didn't make a video of this incident. I exchanged messages with the other driver, not in too hostile or aggressive a manner, but he was adamant he was going to report me and that I'd intentionally wrecked his race, which I absolutely had not. In fact, at the time, I thought his recklessness had ended mine. Now, I want my channel to be a space of positivity about sim racing, so I try to keep a limit on the number of incidents that I feature. But now time has passed and I've been able to reflect on the race, it struck me that there were valuable lessons to learn here and that they are always worth sharing. I hope you think so too. Let me know in the comments what you think about it all. Feel free to give me both barrels if you think it is all on me, and remember, it's nearly Christmas, so be kind to me and to your fellow sim racers on track. And I'll see you on the next one.